Hey, hey, Stephen and I made an executive call here. We decided we're going to start early. Everybody that's in the waiting room being a good boy and girl, rather than have everybody continue to wait, we just wanted to let everybody in. Great to see all your faces. Please feel free to turn your cameras on. Um, Makes it a lot better experience. I get to read the room. I get to tell who I'm putting to sleep and who I'm not. How you doing tonight, Stephen?
I love it. Who I'm putting to sleep and who I'm not. I think that's a really good point. Yeah,
Uh, Here,
very
yeah,
good
we're gonna have
point.
to keep admitting people because they keep putting them in the waiting room. So I'm excited to do this, Stephen. Uh, it's been a while since we've done one of these together. Oh, hey,
Hey,
Edgar. Good to see you, brother. David Sandoval. Good to see you.
I see Tim. I haven't seen Tim in a long time. I see him there. Wow, there you go, Tim. It's been a long time. I see Cheryl there. I see her occasionally popping up here and there. Who else?
See
I
everybody's
see Steven.
face.
I see David over there. I love that hat. David's got a great hat. I've seen that. I think his hat, I think he's got his hat on his avatar too, which is cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good to see you all, Varnell. Good to see you, Ray. Good to see you too, Lucinda. Good to see everybody's smiling faces.
Hey,
My goodness.
all
Hey,
right.
Stephen,
All
I'm gonna
right. We're
wait.
getting some
I'm gonna wait, and here in a little bit, I'll do my little introduction that Andrew asked me to share with everybody. But I just want
We're
to let everybody in, see everyone's faces.
yeah, I like to be here a little early. We never do this. Hey, Lori, how are you? I see you there. How are you?
Oh, hi, I'm on mute. Hello, how are you guys?
Good, good, good. We're going to do things a little bit more casual this time.
Okay.
Yeah, because Andrew's not here and we can do whatever we want to do.
Good to see you, Lori. Love that accent. Where are you
Oh,
from?
thank you. Well, I grew up in Arkansas and Texas. I currently live in Colorado, but yeah, I have that southern accent.
It sounds
Where are
familiar.
you
I'm
from?
from Tennessee. I'm from Middle Tennessee, right
Okay,
around
gotcha.
Nashville. So I talk at like
Love it.
one half speed. Everybody has to click like 2x to listen to anything that I've ever done.
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
Good to see you, Sharon. That's another familiar face that's always smiling. Good to see you. All right. Stephen, I guess we can let everybody roll in. We're super early. That's the thing about Zooms, is it's five after is about
Yeah,
when most people show up.
pretty
Um,
much. Pretty much, but that's okay. You
so
know, and
Stephen, go ahead.
this is really an important class tonight because I can tell you the hardest thing is to reach out to companies and get their attention. And it has changed a little bit. And I was telling Benjamin, I'm pitching, about three, I think there's four products at the moment. And for the last 120 days, when I first started, I wanted to poke my eyes out. It was so horrible. I was like, this is terrible. What has happened? Where is everybody? So tonight, we're going to talk about a few tips and strategies that I think are going to help you get to those companies that you want to get to, because it has changed a little bit, Benjamin. And I know you're kind of the expert at using LinkedIn, and I know you have your monthly calls twice a month with an amazing group of inventors talking about the same topic. So it's
I can't say enough about that group, except for Edgar. Edgar excluded. Everybody else, I got nothing but nice things to say. No, Edgar's amazing. Edgar's another person that understands this all too well. Done an amazing job with his account. I'm so proud of you, Edgar. Um, but that group is so giving, Stephen. We're all in this together. We're all uh, getting roughed up all the same. And I think you said it best whenever you said misery loves company.
no,
But
wait a minute. Let, let's I actually said this, every time I attend, there's so many people in this class. We call it Smart Pitch with Benjamin Harrison. And I said, I couldn't understand why all these people are showing up for this class. And I said to Benjamin, it's either your good looks or your personality or misery loves company, because that room just gets packed.
I think it's the misery loves company, Stephen. I think you got it right with the last one.
I think
Uh,
so.
Honestly, I think it's the camaraderie. I think it's everyone sharing, and that's what makes it so incredible. Is you have your experience, I have mine. Any one person's experience only goes so far, but when everybody comes together and everyone shares as we're all going through the process together, it's a truly incredible thing that's happened over there. And I don't know if it is something that we could recreate if we tried. I know we didn't necessarily set out to have that group be that way. It was mainly a Q&A, and then it turned out everybody banded together in this amazing way, and I can't say enough about them.
Well, when you're having so many people doing the same thing, pitching companies, you can share what's working and what's not working. That's what I like about it, because you have to be flexible here. Not just one thing is going to work. You might have to change it up. Depends on the company, depends on the culture of the company, depends on the category. So you have to be somewhat flexible, because things aren't going to work perfectly, I can tell you. So I see Shane down there. How you doing, Shane? Nice seeing you. See you down there.
What's up,
Good,
Shane?
good. I see Leo. Hey, Leo. See you there. We
What's
did a
going
great
on,
interview with you.
Leo? So did you? I need to see that. Leo's always interesting. It's good to see his face. What'd you interview Leo on?
Oh, I wanted to know what it was doing, and I wanted him to share what he's doing to help inventors too. He's got a great organization. They're out there getting a lot of good information out, and I wanted everybody to know about that information that he is sharing with inventors all around the world now, not just in Kentucky, but around the world. Yeah.
I figured you were trying to get tips on how to make your beard grow faster. I figured that's what it was, Stephen.
Well, he probably could give me a few tips there. Thanks.
Oh,
Okay, we're
man.
going to give it about one more minute, then we're going to start everybody. It looks like everybody's filling in. So it looks good. About one more
Yeah,
minute.
sounds good. Stephen, I don't know if you've heard this yet. I'll let you know before we get started. Right around where we're at in Florida is in the news right now because our water temperature here in the ocean is 101 degrees.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
not great.
No, it's a little bit warm, isn't it?
Not great.
Take you a warm bath in the ocean. It's weird.
Hey, before we start, everybody, could you put in the chat where you're from? That'd be great. And also put in the chat if you're new to Inventors Groups of America. That'd be wonderful. We'd like to see where everybody's from.
Stephen, if you want to start this, I'll just go ahead and give us a little
right.
hello to everybody to start out, the normal spiel, and then we can get right into this.
Well, let me first start out by welcoming everybody to Inventors Groups of America. Andrew Krause and I started this organization probably, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years ago. And the purpose of this new group was to help inventing leaders across America to help their members commercialize their ideas. We knew the clubs. I met Andrew at a club. He was running one of the largest inventors clubs in the United States, in Silicon Valley. I met him over 23 years ago. And Andrew and I have been supporting the groups ever since. Those groups are really important. And if you have a close group that's close by, please join them and be part of their organization, because the information they provide is priceless. The groups are struggling a little bit, you guys. So if there is a group close by, make sure you join and say hello and participate. You can learn so much from the groups all across America. And Leo's here from Kentucky. He's got a great group there too as well. And hopefully Celeste shows up, because her group's from South Africa. Okay, so we have groups from all over basically the world now coming to Inventors Groups of America. So we started it to help the leaders, and we realized we're helping the members, and now we're just helping everybody. Okay, and that's why we created Inventors Groups of America, IGA.
And IGA has a directory of local and regional inventor groups on the website, and so it's a really easy way of seeing if you're located near one. And we highly recommend that you join that local inventor group, because there's Zoom meetings are great, but there's absolutely nothing that will ever replace in-person, face-to-face, getting to know each other in person. So highly recommend that you join your local inventors group. Stephen already said if you'd like to enter in your name and where you're from into the chat, we'd love to hear that, see where everybody's from, see where all the representation's from. I want to remind everybody not to disclose anything that's confidential and it's not already publicly available, that this meeting is being recorded and will be harnessed on the IGA website and the YouTube channel soon. Stephen, I hope that's not going to stop you from sharing anything. I was hoping to get really personal with you. We'll see how all that goes. So,
hey, I love to get the juicy stuff away. I don't hold back. So
that's what I love about you, Stephen. So if you guys have any questions at all, please feel to enter those into the chat. Looks like we have a hand raised from Daniel already. Daniel, Stephen, you want to go ahead and just get to this? I mean, my goodness, right off the bat, somebody's already got a question.
Well,
we don't even.
Yeah, let's wait for the questions, everybody. We'll jump in. What we're going to do this presentation. We're going to talk about some of the issues and strategies. Then we're going to open up, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. I don't want to run out of time. So let's jump in. Daniel, we will get to you. In fact, you'll be the first one we ask when we start to open it up. Okay.
Absolutely, Daniel. Please feel free to enter that into the chat, or whenever we get to the questions, just digitally raise your hand again like you have already done. Stephen, I'm going to go ahead and get into the slides.
Yeah.
And if you want to do this, we can get into it, brother. We're taking a little bit more laid back of an approach today. Hope that's all right with everybody. Going to share this screen. Stephen, you see that all right? Everything good?
I sure do.
Is my face, is my picture and name, the font just a little bit
it's bigger than mine?
yours?
I think it's actually bigger than
Okay,
mine.
well then it's the way that it needs to be then.
Right.
Everything's according to plan then.
All right. Everyone, tonight we're going to talk about successful pitching strategies for winning over companies with your ideas. We're going to talk about how to get into companies and how to get them to respond and how to start those relationships up so you can start to pitch your wonderful ideas with them. And I'm really glad to have Benjamin Harrison with me. And I've known Ben for a long time. He's kind of our LinkedIn licensing expert over at InventRight. He created a program called Smart Pitch, which is a program that just focuses on all the different ways to get into companies, but really focuses on LinkedIn, because he's the master at how to get to companies through LinkedIn, because it's a great platform. And he's also written a book. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So I want to welcome everybody to this class tonight. Okay, Ben.
Stephen, buddy, how long ago was it that we started this journey? 4 years, I think, really close to 4 years ago that we recognized how important this was going to be and started coming out with content for this. Does that seem right?
Yeah, I think so. To give a little background, everyone, I think when LinkedIn first came out, it was really a place to find new hires if you're looking for a job. But soon it kind of changed a little bit, Ben, and it changed to where it was a platform for business people to connect. No matter if you're an inventor or some type of entrepreneur, doesn't matter what you're looking for, you could connect now to over 750 million people that are in business that really are there for business. They are there for you guys. They want you to connect with them. And I said to Ben, this is a game changer. We have to get involved. We need to know everything we possibly can about this platform. We have to stay current And we have to take advantage because it's hard to get to these companies, but now there's no gatekeepers.
And man, I cannot imagine life without LinkedIn at this point. Can you imagine trying to get into companies just having the phone and email at this point, Stephen?
No, and we're going to talk about all the different ways to get into companies and why it has changed, and some of the other things maybe are a little bit difficult, but LinkedIn is a great platform. The reason why this class is so important for me, and I was telling Ben, I took on some projects and I started doing the things that we've been talking about for a long time and started reaching out to companies. And I soon realized, holy cow, things have changed. And I want to talk about what has changed. And I want to talk about some tips and strategies that I've found, because at the very beginning, Ben, I kind of wanted to poke my eyes out. It was so terrible. I was reaching out to companies and it just wasn't working very well. I was using all the tips and strategies we've been talking about for a long time, but for some reason, it wasn't happening fast enough for me. And that bothered me. But I stayed with it, and we had a lot of conversations, and I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and I found some new strategies that allowed me to get to these companies. And that's why we're sharing this tonight, to keep you guys as current as we possibly can. Oh, here's your plug. Boy, you're getting the plug right away. You're plugging your book, Ben.
Well, you were talking too long, Stephen. I had to break it up a little bit with them. It was just the next slide. I don't know how it got in there, honestly.
All right, we'll do this real quick, you guys. We have a book called Licensing Ideas Using LinkedIn. This is very good. It's a book that Ben and I wrote, and if you don't have it, please get it. And you'll find that there's scripts and everything else in this book. It's going to help you, but we're going to go even beyond this book tonight, Ben, right? And that's what I really like about it. The book is the foundation. It's fantastic, but we're going to take it to a whole nother level too tonight.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, Stephen, do you want to start out and talk about why
Yeah.
professional LinkedIn profile is so important right now? I mean, this is something we've been talking about for a while, but it seems like now more than ever, your LinkedIn profile is your digital avatar. It's you putting out your best face forward, and it's so crazy because it's what people identify you as a professional is by the information that you provide them in that profile.
Well, Ben, why it's important today is that everybody is screening everything. I mean, if I call someone today that does not know my telephone number, they will screen my number. And then I have to send them a text for them to pick up the phone. Everyone is screening their calls. You're looking at all the emails that come in. You're like, who do I reach out to? Who do I just forget? I don't know you. So your profile is a great way. So when someone wants to check you out, they can look at you very quickly, and that will satisfy them that, hey, I want to work with you. So it's like a living resume now, Ben. That's what it is. And you can create really who you are, what you're interested in. In fact, you know what it is? It's your sell sheet, right? It's that one page that advertises you.
Absolutely. And Stephen, the thing about your profile is you can do everything else right. You can have an incredible, set of scripts that you use. You can have incredible marketing material. You can engage with content. You can put your best face forward in every other aspect of this. But if your LinkedIn profile isn't professional, all of that's going to fall flat because it's how people qualify you. So if you're not going to spend the time to get your profile right, then all your other efforts are going to fall flat, in my opinion.
So Ben, let's jump ahead. Show everyone what's a good profile. Okay.
So I wanted to use Mr. Elliot Friedman, Eventbrite member, on the meeting. Really glad to see his face. Elliot's a wonderful example of how to do this right. Then Michelle Morrison is another InventRight member, another personal friend, and she's done an incredible job. And then this guy on the far right, I guess that's Lawrence of Arabia. I don't know who that is over there. But Stephen, that's your profile, and I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to show a little bit of differences as well. So right off the bat, I want to let everyone know that the information, the text, the mini narrative that you write about yourself that is your about area in your profile is important. But more important, I've found, is all of the imagery that's involved in your profile, your background photo, your profile photo, and your featured section are the areas that draw everyone's attention first, because they can be filled with all this vibrant color. And those pictures can tell a story so much faster than someone reading through a couple of paragraphs. And so I want to encourage everybody, if you don't have your featured section enabled, and if you don't have some information that is showing you off as a professional, showing off what's important to you, showing posts that you've made that have done well, or any publications that you've been in, anything that you've done previously that's one of these moments for you, fill that featured area up with it, because those pictures are what people's eyes are going to immediately go to, and it's going to tell the story so much faster. So on Elliot and Michelle's profile, everyone notices it goes from their background photo and their headshot to their name, their headline, and then it goes into the about area, and then the featured is below that. But on Lawrence of Arabia's, it goes right into the featured section instead of going into the about area. The about area is actually below all of that on Stephen's. And that's because Stephen has creator mode enabled on his LinkedIn profile, which is a difference that they have now, that's for people that create content specifically. And it rearranges your profile and puts more of an emphasis on the featured area and the activity, because as a creator, that's more what your profile is about rather than your about section. But notice immediately how that featured area being located right underneath the headline and all of that, it grabs your attention. And look at the difference in the profiles and see where your eyes immediately go. And so I want to encourage everybody, add things to your featured area. It's really important to have profile picture, a background picture, and to have everything filled out. But bang for your buck, focus on your featured area, and also put some emphasis into your activity on LinkedIn, because that's another thing that people are going to see on your profile. As you see here on all three of these, their activity is at the bottom here below the featured. People see that and they judge who you are as a person and how you're going to act as a professional based on those interactions. And so to me, those are the most important things that you can do with your profile at this point. Same as always, gotta have a great headshot, gotta have a great background photo. Important to have something about product development in your headline somewhere. And then from there, focus on those visuals more than just the text. Stephen, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add to it is that underneath your name, and I change it occasionally. Right now I have a contributor to Forbes Inc. and Entrepreneur, because I'm reaching out to companies to connect with me, and I know they think I'm the media. And because of that, they connect with me very quickly because I'm pitching ideas right now. So that's why I've used that. Sometimes I change it up. But underneath your name, that gives you the ability to kind of talk about the benefit you're bringing to the table. So I'll give you an example. I'm in the packaging industry. If I was pitching to packaging companies, I might change underneath my name to say, creating innovative packaging solutions, maybe creating sustainable packaging solutions for today's world. I might change it, and that would actually be my one-line benefit of what I'm doing. So that's the only thing I've noticed, that this is your sell sheet, and you could actually create it in such a way to really highlight the benefits of what you're doing. And of course, they've done it a little bit differently, but, and Benjamin, I play with it, as you know. I changed the pictures around, I changed the backgrounds around. I've got 3 camels. Why do I have 3 camels? I don't know. It's different. People see it like they're like, what the heck is this guy doing? I think it just creates like, I might want to get to know this guy. That's why I do it.
Stephen, you raise a wonderful point, is your profile should change. It should serve whatever it is that you're currently trying to use your LinkedIn profile for. That's what it should be designed around. Creating the response that you want to get out of the people that you're trying to get in touch with. So if you're currently pitching, like you said, packaging, sustainable packaging, something like that, then maybe having some camels stomping on top of packages. No, but to have that all come together, it's something that should change depending on what it is that you're currently trying to do. Don't think of it as something that has to stay the same, or just something that is serving the purpose of getting you a job. It should be serving the purpose of making the people with whom you are trying to do business with comfortable with doing business with you.
One last thing before you go to the next slide. Sometimes I'll ask someone when they go to look at my profile, and what do you think? Sometimes I want to get feedback, and that really helps me to decide if I want to change it, or what do you think when you come to my page? So I always test it just to get people's feedback. I think you should do that with your marketing material, your sell sheet, and even your LinkedIn profile. All right, Benjamin, let's go to the next slide.
That's a great tip. Okay, so Stephen, this is something that you wanted to talk about, and that's so important, doing your homework.
I think this is really, really important, and you can tell when someone hasn't done their homework. And I was interviewing this one company, LifeScan, and I was interviewing the chief marketing officer there, Lisa Rose. She's pretty busy. And I said, what do you look for when someone reaches out to you? And she said to me, Steve, I recognized instantly if they know my business that I'm in by what they're asking for in their comments. And if they don't know exactly what I'm doing, I don't pay attention to it. Right. So I think you have to really do your homework on whoever you're reaching out, customize it a little bit to tell them you've spent the time to know who you are. Because how many times do you get these messages through email or through your LinkedIn? Someone's pitching you something and you realize they don't even know what I do. I don't read those. He's spamming me. He hasn't taken the time to know who I am. No, don't do that, you guys. Because if you really know that customer and what they do, you can craft that message later that tells them why you're reaching out to them, because they are the right company, but you have to know who they are.
So LinkedIn's a social platform, and one of the most important constructs in social interaction is the law of reciprocity. And if somebody sends you a message on LinkedIn, Stephen, and they were to say, hey, you should try writing a book sometime, or maybe you should try coaching inventors. Maybe I could help you start a coaching class. Whenever they send you messages like that, which you laugh, but I mean, does it happen? Is that something that, because I get messages similar, but not maybe that crazy.
It happens all the time. And I just wonder why they haven't spent a minute to really customize. You know what it is? It's just spam. They're throwing it out. That's like, and I can tell they're sending it out to who knows how many people. I don't feel special. They haven't done the homework. I don't want to work with them. By the way, I don't want to work with you. You're not the type of person that's taken enough care to even know who I am. Yeah, it doesn't work.
And it makes perfect sense. If you're not willing to take any time to do some research before sending out a message, how can you expect anyone to be willing to take time to respond to it? It's simple reciprocity. And so do your homework. And it's very, very obvious when people don't. It's better to not have some kind of customization in there than it is to have the wrong customization in there. So make it custom, make it personable, but make it authentic. Stephen, do you have anything else to say about homework, or do you want to get right into this?
No, I want to get into this because this is the meat of this presentation. This is why you're here today. Outreach to companies today has changed. You know what's really crazy, Ben? I used to think that, boy, back in the day, when I first started reaching out to companies, there wasn't the internet. And I used to think, God, what a disadvantage I'm at without the internet. Now I'm thinking it's gotten harder with the internet because it's crowded and people we're getting bombarded. Where when I first started out, I would send a letter to somebody and I could get to anybody and they all responded. But today it's a little bit different. So this is what I've realized, you guys. When you use your script, and if it's not working, okay, realize today's environment is an environment of caution. Companies have been laying off people, okay. Retailers have been closing, okay. We've had some supply chains issues, okay. I mean, look at the TV shows or movies. They're doing Barbie and they're doing all these other projects that people recognize the brands, right? They're not taking risks. They're very cautious. All right. Knowing that they're cautious and knowing they're a little risk averse, play your script, change your script to really highlight the benefits of your product. Know clearly the benefits of your product. Maybe it's spending less time, it's less expensive, it does something, but really focus on taking away risk and write that script so they get it very, very quickly, the benefit. It used to be, Ben, you know this, hey, I'm a product developer. Hey, do you work with outside product developers? Do you embrace open innovation? Forget that. It's one step to get to these people now. You got to be faster than that. What I realized that I write this script, I know who I'm going to target. I know what's really important to them. I know that everybody's really cautious. So I'm really trying to write that script and where it's a short little paragraph and it really, maybe a couple here. This is a good example. I'll get to that in a minute. That really zero ins. What you're looking at here, thank you for connecting with me. I always say that because I'm really happy that they've done that. I almost do the happy dance just if they even connect with me these days. I have a patent pending. You guys, what I love about this first sentence, I'm telling them my IP strategy. If I have a patent, I have a patent, or I have a patent pending packaging solution that eliminates plastic rings currently being used and is 100% curbside recyclable. That paragraph exactly explains what I have. I don't go long anymore, Ben. I go short, I go fast, I go to the point. Now, this next little paragraph is someone used this, and I really love it. Your company was recommended by an industry leader as the best company to show this new packaging solution to. First, that just kind of gives them a pat on the back. Hey, right? Sometimes I put it in there, sometimes I remove it. But here's the last thing. May I send you a 1-minute video demonstrating this new packaging solution? Short, to the point, and sometimes I'll even change this up multiple times, Ben. Right? I just realized you have to kind of play with it because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. The next thing I've noticed, And I think this is probably the most important thing you're going to learn tonight. It's all about the follow-up. 48% of most companies and people do not follow up. 25% of the 48 that do follow up, they only follow up twice. Success happens when you follow up 6 or 7 times. If you're not following up, you're going to be disappointed. And this is so true now. Now we're thinking, Ben, if I follow up a lot, am I being a pest? No, you're not. You're being a professional, right? Because imagine all the things people are getting all day long. You follow up. And the way I follow up is say, hey, just following up. I know you're really busy. Any tips and advice would be extremely appreciated. I ask for them to show, their experience and help me. And if they don't, I wait 5 days, maybe 5, maybe 3 days. I come back again. Hey, this is Madeleine Key again. I know you're crazy out. I know it's crazy busy. I just need 2 minutes of your time. Could you please look at this? I just keep following up. You know what happens? They see it and they know I'm not going away. They know I'm a pro. They know I have something that's so important that I'm just not going to give up. And I think we all have a tendency not to follow up enough. That's the biggest tip tonight. The second thing, I think this is really important. And Ben, you've got a slide with this, don't you, about the
yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
And Stephen, can I interject something
Yes.
really quick? Because follow up is a very, very challenging thing for people whenever they're first learning this. And I want to encourage everyone that everybody feels that way whenever about following up, whenever they first start this process. You feel like you're bugging people. But the reality of whenever you're doing this day in, day out, the reality of what this is going to take is I forget to message my mom back. I'll get something from my mom, something from my dad, something from even Stephen. No, I'd never forget him. But I forget to message the most important people in my life back because of how many messages we get all the time. So don't assume that it is out of malice or a lack of care or consideration that someone doesn't respond to a message of yours. I forget to respond to people all the time. And I feel, whenever I see it later, I feel terrible about it. And I wish that they had said something else to me in a non-entitled way. No one owes you a response, so don't treat them like they do. However, it's your job as a professional to follow up. And what happens is whenever you do this enough, you end up with people who will thank you for your professional persistence. And those messages, once you start getting them, then it's like, okay, I get it. I'm not bugging them. I'm being a pro.
I actually like when someone follows up with me. I get so busy, I forget. But when they follow up, you're doing me a favor. You're bringing it to the top again. So Ben's right. It's really a professional thing to do, is to follow up, because people are just so busy putting out fires. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the comments on their posts yet, because I want to get to that, which you have been, because that is so powerful and so true. Moving off LinkedIn, you guys, I want to get off LinkedIn as fast as I can, right? I want to have a quick conversation. I want to show them something, but the minute there's some interest, I want to get on a Zoom call, Skype call, telephone call, and I'm going to make sure I get that done as fast as I can, because that's when I can start the relationship up personally and they can see me. So I always try to get it off as fast as I can. Testing. I test all the time, right? I'm always testing, because you never know what's going to work for one person, might not work for the other person. So you got to play with it.
So true.
Tweaking your pitch, tweak it. I got a hold of somebody, and they looked at what I was sending them, and They told me what was important to them. I redid my sell sheet, I redid my video because of what they told me. And if I hadn't had that information, I'd probably be still trying to reach out to people and didn't get any response. But I did go hold of this one person. And what happened was, the minute he told me how to change it, I started getting a better response. So what I do is that when I reach out to a company, I find the right company that's a good fit. I reach out to the president, and I never used to reach out to the president. I reach out to the president, someone in sales, someone in marketing, someone in new product development. I'll reach out to someone in graphics. I'll even reach out to someone in shipping if I have to. I want to reach out a big net. So if someone connects with me, then I can navigate it to the right person. So I guess what I'm saying is this, Ben, you have to be more persistent. You have to up your game. You have to be more persistent, throw a wider net, do your homework, reach out to more people, do more follow-up. You have to do all these things. The attitude. I want to get the attitude real quick, because if you don't have the right attitude, this will break you. This will be like your worst. This is like a nightmare. And you'll be calling me saying, Steve, do you have someone that can help me? I'm going to give up. Trust me, you'll get to that point. This is what I do. I make it a game. How many times is it going to take me to follow up with that guy? And I keep count. In fact, I screen capture every email of how many times, and then I look it up and go, look at 8 times the guy still hasn't reached out to me. And I kind of laugh, and then I send him another one. So make a game out of it, you guys. If not, you will go out of your mind today. Okay.
Stephen, man, it's so true. I don't think that anything can prepare you. It's like being a parent, I'm sure. There's nothing that can prepare you for being a parent. And there's nothing that can prepare you for reaching out, as you have to do. One thing that I want to make a comment on about moving off of LinkedIn, and I want to give a shout out once again to Elliot Friedman. Elliot, brother, I hope you're feeling good. Elliot's got a lot going on, and he's a good friend. We've been checking in on each other. We're both recovering from something right now. So I hope everything's going well with you, Elliot. But Elliot brought to the attention of everyone in the Smart Pitch meeting one night that he had been using Calendly, which is a appointment app or software, right? Very, very popular. But one of the coolest things about Calendly is that it allows you to drop a link to your calendar for available appointments within LinkedIn direct messages, where it pops up. They have a link they can click that brings up all your available times. And something that I absolutely love that Elliot has done with this is he has created what I believe is why he's so successful with this, is he's created 15-minute meeting blocks within Calendly, and we'll send that out to people. And there's something, in my opinion, Elliot thinks so too, very powerful about the 15-minute meeting block. You're not asking anybody for an hour. You're not even asking anybody for 30 minutes, but 15 minutes. And for them to have the availability within the LinkedIn direct messaging part of your app to be able to click on that, book a meeting right then and there. He's had fantastic success with it. Elliot, I want to thank you for sharing that and everything else that you've shared with the group. And I want to encourage everybody else, try Calendly out, try creating some 15-minute meeting blocks, and try sending those out in your messages and see if you get anybody to bite. Because so far, the people that are trying that out have been getting bites. Here's a script that I want to share with everybody really quick. We're going to give you 2 scripts. I have a similar script to what Stephen is using, in that I think it's very important to put specifically what the product is, especially whenever you're dealing with mid to large size companies because they might have different departments who have different go-to people for these, depending on what the department is. So by telling them what specifically it is that you want to send over, it helps them help you. It cuts out one interaction that we get all the time, which is, well, what kind of product is it? I don't know where to send you. This helps them help you. And it allows you also to put in industry specific keywords that helps you speak their language to them, shows them that you belong there, shows them that you've done your research. So I keep everything casual, and we all have to filter through insane amount of messages every day. And so I like to send things over that appear to be a normal message that you would get from someone you know. That's why I go about it so casual. It's a, hey, Stephen. It's not greetings and salutations, sir or madam. It's not the normal spam, top. I say, hey, I talk to them exactly the way that I would talk to somebody that I know personally, because that's the impression that I want them to get whenever they're reading. Say, hey, Stephen, probably not your department, but do you know if anyone at this business handles outside production or product submissions, open innovation and parentheses there. And what I'm doing is I'm letting people off the hook at the very beginning of the message. Everybody else is asking something of you, demanding something of you. Everyone else is assuming that you owe them a response, whatever. I like to take a little bit of the weight of the ask out of the equation by letting them off the hook at the very beginning. Hey, probably got nothing to do with you, but I'd appreciate your help. And in my experience, this comes off a lot better, and I get a lot of responses from taking the ask out of the very beginning and taking the expectation out of it. And then I get into, I've developed a low price, and so anything that has an underline in it, these are all interchangeable depending on what the product is. But in this instance, I'm saying I've developed a low price point electronic accessory for smartphones that provides fun for a wide range of demographics. Believe it'd be a great fit for your product line. Stephen, I'm going to steal your patent pending. I have no reason to not have that in here. I'll probably add that as soon as we get off of this meeting. I like it so much. I've developed a low price point patent pending electronic accessory, right? Get right to the point, thank them and get out. I'm sorry, brother.
No, what I found, if you have a patented product, let's say, and you think you have a great company, they have a great reputation, I will sometimes put the video link in there. I don't even ask for permission. I go straight, here it is. Here's a 1-minute video demonstrating. I mean, you guys, I'm trying to cut back and forth as fast as I can because everybody's really busy. I don't do, if it's patent pending, I don't do it because there's intellectual property protection, and that's a whole nother thing to do, to go down that road of showing your IP. But if it's patented and it's out there, heck, I'll put the link to the video there, right? I mean, I'm trying to get to the point as fast as I can, and people they want to know about your IP status, so put it in there. Why not? You bet.
Hey, it's one extra question that you don't have to answer. They
That's
already
right.
know.
That's right.
So another thing I want to talk about really quick is, if you all are not doing this, is something that I've been preaching for a couple of years now, still not a widely adapted thing, but so there's a very good chance that if you do this, that you will be the first time that anyone has received one of these messages. Voice messages, audio messages, whatever you want to call it on LinkedIn is a great way to mix things up. And I really like this for following up. Rather than sending the same type of text message over and over to people, I like mixing it up with an audio message. And once again, just because you can send an audio message doesn't mean that you need to all of a sudden do a hard sales pitch in it. I would recommend this exact same scripts that Stephen and I just showed you, but in an audio form. The important things being that you speak the connection's name at the beginning of the message, and at the end of the message. And it's you introduce yourself. And there's something very powerful about this because you can't, at least I haven't figured out a way yet. Maybe we need to get on this, but this isn't something that you copy and paste fake spam people with. If I am speaking your name into a phone in a message, I took the time to do that. And people respond differently to this. And it's only available on the mobile devices. It's not something, to the best of my knowledge, that they've implemented on the desktop version yet. It's only in the app. But you do it by holding the microphone button to the side of the where you would normally put the text in, and it's just speaking your message, same as you would. Great thing for everybody to try out if you're not already doing that. Steven, you want to talk about cold calling for just a second?
Yeah, real quick, you guys. Cold calling used to be my preferred method. Today, most companies don't even have a phone system anymore. And so it's really quite frustrating, right? So if you want to try cold calling, make sure you get the name of someone in sales on LinkedIn and try to cold call someone and get a hold of someone in sales. They usually always pick up. But what I've found today is that some companies will have a customer service line and they won't give you the corporate number. And some of them don't even have a corporate number anymore. So cold calling has gotten a little tougher. That's why we have to lean a little bit more in on LinkedIn. But that's what I found lately. And it's very frustrating, but people are screening calls and everything's going online.
Yeah, you can thank robocalling for that. Everyone's,
Pretty
if you
much.
don't recognize the number, you're not answering. This is something I want to talk about really quick. That is massive. We've been hitting this point home for a long time, Stephen, but I think it's great to see somebody else saying this. I'm going to read through this really quick. I know we're pressed for time, everybody. Sorry, I'm long-winded. But this is a post that was on LinkedIn from the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph. And he says, being able to get to someone is one of the most important skills to develop as an entrepreneur. And he goes on to say, I promise you, we notice. We see who's in our comments with interesting thoughts. We see the people who quote tweet our post or ask interesting questions. And when we see those names pop up later in our email, it might just be enough to make them stand out from the thousands of other emails we receive. That's the co-founder of Netflix who's saying this. So, Steve,
I don't think we're doing this enough. But I really don't. Oh, let's put it this way. If you were to reach out to him with an email, you're 1 in 1,000. He probably won't get it. But if you reach out on a post or retweet it or ask good questions, he's most likely, he's not getting 1,000 comments. So people really realize it's a nice way to get in. I've done it myself. It does work. I love this. We don't do enough of it.
I agree 100%. Another thing I want to mention to everybody, another thing that people do not do enough is they do not show up to companies' events that they're having. They will post these on LinkedIn. They will have links to events that they are having. My advice to you is to show up, have your camera on, pay attention, laugh at their jokes, smile, ask softball questions in the chat. Be the positive person that you would want showing up to an event of yours. Because what the Netflix guy said is very true. Commenting on a post, they remember that, they appreciate it. It's the lifeblood of their social media efforts. But then the next step here is showing up to an event. It doesn't cost you anything to do, but they see your face, they see you as a professional, they see you as someone who they want to work with. They feel good when they see your name pop up. Finding common ground. This is an Inventors member, Chad, and a licensee of his, Todd. Todd's going to be on Bridging the Gap tomorrow. Chad sent Todd a video message on LinkedIn Todd recognized a motorcycle in the background of Chad's video. Todd is a biker as well. He commented back to Chad about it. They found a little bit of common ground, became friends over it, and they're working on several products together now. And so I just want to let everybody know that's real. Same with me. The true connections that I've made in dealing all the different awesome opportunities that we've had, rare like partnerships, have all been because we've shown up places, volunteered our time, found common ground with people, and been the type of person that they want to work with. Stephen, you want to tell everybody about stepping up their game?
Yeah, real quick, you guys, I know we're running out of time. This is what I've learned. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is complete and professional, and play around with it, and even ask people, what do they do when they get there? What do they think about you? Do your homework, please. And that's going to really, you're going to stand out. It's really easy to do. And reach out to everybody now. Cast a wider net. It's probably not the right person, but if you use Benjamin's script, they'll connect you to the right person. Clearly state your point of difference and the benefit of your product and even your IP. I think getting to the point faster is always better. Follow up is the most important thing you can do today. That's the number one thing out of this class. Follow up, follow up. Do not stop, be a pro. And also, if you do cold call people, that's fantastic, but just realize, get the guy in sales from LinkedIn, try to get a hold of them, but cold calling is getting a little weird. Here's the other thing. The more you do this, the better you're going to feel about it. The one thing I've noticed, Ben, if I'm doing this a lot, I'm feeling in control. I'm having a blast. I'm having fun with it. If you're doing it every once in a while, you're never going to get that comfortable. So practice makes perfect. There's some questions I want to get to here.
So true.
Ben, real quick.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop my share.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to get to some of these questions real quick, because I think some of these are really important. Christy asked a question about what companies to trust. Okay, you guys, it's really simple. Here's what I do. Find a company that works with inventors. Look at their product, look at their website, look at the products they sell, see how they treat people. Ask them, do you work with outside inventors? Type in their name, type in complaints, and see if they're hiding something. If they're not on social media, that's a red flag for me. If you're on social media, you're willing to take the comments. You're probably doing a good job. If they're not on social media, that's a red flag. So please just do your homework and maybe even ask them, do you work with us? Look at their track record. It speaks volumes. Chrissy, I think it's a great question. I'm not fearful of anybody. I try to find good companies, and I can tell the way they treat me at the first time they treat me if they're going to be a company I want to work with. So find like-minded people, like-minded companies that love us. Here's another one that's really important to me. This following up. Yes, you can keep on doing this string, but if you get tired of it, start a new one. It's so perfectly okay, right? Don't play around with it. And Ben's right. Be yourself. Be different than anybody else, and it's going to work. I have I have this premium thing on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you, I never use it to directly email someone. They never watch it. Look, it's like, I'm coming for you. I'm announcing, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to sell you something. I never use it for that, because it says, what does it say? In mail, or it says something. It gives them a heads up. I'm going to try to sell. I don't use it, but what I do use it for is building connections, because I can connect to so many people that way. If I don't have it, they limit the way I can connect. So if you're in the connecting mode, pay the $79 of the free month and connect like crazy, and then jump off the stupid thing. Okay, that's the way I take advantage of that. I want to talk about resubmitting an idea. Yes, timing is everything, right? And a company might say no today. And I've seen this happen. I've always wondered, they say no today, 6 months later, they said yes. Resubmit. It's okay. Repackage it and go back with the fresh look. Get some feedback and come back and say, look, thank you for the letting me submit. I took your advice and I like to pitch it again. I made some changes. Yes, resubmit. It's perfectly fine, you guys, right? Timing is everything. People change jobs, environment changes. So if you get a no today, it's not a no tomorrow. I guess that's the point. And there's one more here. I want to get you really quick here. All right. Sometimes you need advice from other people. I don't know about manufacturing. I know how important it is. I think manufacturing is really important these days. When I talked about companies being cautious, right? The more you can provide value, take away risk, the more they want to work with you. All right, so what does that mean? If I know what my product costs, right, or how to manufacture it, that's a big benefit. I've taken away some risk, or maybe market demand. I've done some stuff beyond what most people do. All right, getting back to this one question though, do I need to build a team and give equity away because I having people help me? No, you don't. You pay for their advice. You have them sign an NDA, make sure it's a work for hire agreement, meaning anything they give you, you own, and ask them for those things that you need. I'm in the manufacturing world of packaging. I don't know how to make some of this stuff, but I can find the people that do. And those people give me the information, and that's the information I filed my PPA on. So you don't have to give away your business to work for hire agreements, get your team, get good advice, pull it together, and that's going to help you pitch. All right. Ben,
Stephen,
what do
there
you
was
got?
another question about a toy company that said that they don't usually license ideas, and this person's curious. Trimond is curious how to pitch to try to convince someone that doesn't normally license something.
Don't go to the next guy. You guys, you know what it is. Some companies are just stuck in their ways, and they've done something the same way, and they just can't get out in front of themselves sometimes. And instead of trying to convince them, find another company that does understand licensing and really welcomes that, right? But don't fight upstream, right? Sometimes things happen for a reason. I don't worry about it anymore. I just find the next guy, because there's a lot of guys out there. So if they don't want a license, don't convince them, right? Just find the next guy that does.
Christy had a question about, what if some companies are legitimate or not. I would say, do your research. Anybody, you're going to need to do your own research. Don't take somebody else's word on who's legitimate or not. You need to Google stuff, look for reviews. Stephen, do you have any more to say about that?
I mentioned that earlier. Don't be fearful. Don't listen to anybody else. Do your own homework, right? Because I can type in complaints and lawsuits and everything. You can't hide today. It's hard to hide, right? And look at how they treat their customers on the reviews of their products too. If they're treating their customers poorly, they're going to treat you poorly too. So do your homework. True. Every company's different. And sure, maybe some companies have made a mistake. Okay, that happens. But if they have this list of complaints, and sometimes they bury it a little bit, dig a little deeper. All right. But do your own homework, you guys. Find those good companies, and you will find them, and they will love you. They will. Social media is everything. If they're not on social media, I run so fast, because social media to me is a way of saying, hey, look, I'm doing good business. All right. And if I'm not, help me do a better job. And you're going to poke me. That's okay. I can do a better job. But if I'm not on LinkedIn, I'm afraid of it. I'm hiding.
So let's do this really quick, everybody. I want to get a group picture. Everybody look, smile, look alive, look like I haven't bored you to sleep. Get a hand up, get a wave going. Hey. There we go. There we go. Keep them up. Keep them up. I'm going to get all of these really quick. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
It's a family photo album. I love when we do that.
It is. So I wanted to make sure that we got that done. We're coming up on the hour. There's a couple of extra questions that are in there. I'm happy to answer these. The first was, do I send a normal connection requests or do I personalize them? And this depends on the scenario. Whenever I'm trying to get into a company and create new, fresh connections, let's say that I don't have any personal information about these people, I don't fake it. I just go through and hit connect, 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 connect. See what happens, see who connects back with me, and then reach out to those people accordingly. It's almost like an initial filter for me, because if I have to write them a sonnet in order to get them to connect with me, the chances of them going out of their way to help me out with something else is probably not all that great too. The difference caveat in this is if I do have something actually personal to say to someone, if I like something that they've done, if I have a personal connection of any kind, then I will absolutely send a custom note in. But I don't fake a custom note. I don't fake some kind of connection if I don't have it. Another question was about how long video messages can be. I saw 60 seconds. I thought it was 2 minutes. It could be 60 seconds now. It's been a little bit since I've sent one, but that sounds about right. There was a question about a real no or a false no from Darren. Target customer connected with received polite decline from the VP of engineering, who, yeah, that's a hard person to win over right off the bat. They have got a lot of responsibility whenever a new product comes out. I like to try to sell marketing or sales because they don't have the work on the front end. But one thing that I'll say is make sure that the person that gives you a no actually has the right to give you a no.
Well, let me tell you what's crazy about that. Someone I work with sent an email, maybe multiple emails to one company. He sent it to the right guy, new product development. The guy looked at it and goes, it's not the right fit for us. Then he sent it to the president. President goes, I love this idea. Let's have a meeting. All right, you're killing me here with this. So guess what I'm saying is it's okay to reach out to multiple people and realize that not everybody is going to want to work with you. So just be persistent and it's okay. The one thing I have noticed, and there's no just one right time to reach out to people. Fridays are great now. Saturdays are even wonderful, even Sundays. Why? Because all those people have this now, right? And sometimes they get so busy during the week, they just can't get to it. But I'll tell you, these people that are really serious about their business, they're always connected. They see something, oh, and I can get to it, right? So connect all the time. There's never a bad time. I think any time. And I spoke to someone the other night. It was that night I talked to someone, and even Dana Knowles. I think Dana Knowles on here. She helps us at InventRight. She brings a lot of companies to InventRight to talk about us. She had some guy reached out to her and talked to her at 11 o'clock at night. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, so it's always a good time to reach out to people.
So Daniel, if you're still on, buddy, if you could get your hand raised, I want to make sure that we get to your question as well. Daniel, if you're still on here, please raise that digital hand. It's only 8:02. We didn't go that long that he would have left already, Stephen. But Matthew's got a hand up. What's going on? I recognize Matthew from Smart Pitch. Matthew's an old buddy at this point. How's it going, Matthew?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Oh, just a quick question. I have a LinkedIn profile, but it's all about, my non-product development, my non-InventRight profession. I was looking and it says, you really shouldn't have two LinkedIn profiles. You show profiles for people who are like full-time InventRight. What are your recommendations for somebody who's got their professional LinkedIn profile and does InventRight or inventing on the side? How do you handle that?
So Matthew, how I always tell everybody to handle that is if you're reaching out to people about open innovation or product development, it's great to have that somewhere in your headline. You don't have to base your entire account around it, but most people are slash people at this point. I'm a hairdresser slash engineer slash Leonard Skinner fan or whatever it is. But people have different aspects of what makes them the professional that they are. So I would recommend I'll do a profile review for you, our next class. It depends on how professional your profile looks. But my guess is you already seem like a pro. So I would just add product developer somewhere to your headline and let it rip. Just make sure that you come across professional is the most important thing. Does that answer your
Yeah.
question,
It's
Matthew?
okay. I think we all do so many different things. It's okay to be this guy that does this. I scuba dive. I do this. I do that. Okay, it's perfect. Creativity comes from anybody and everybody. We're all creative. So don't put yourself in a box, Matthew. Be whoever you want to be. Yeah.
Thanks.
Stephen, did you see any more questions at all that we didn't get to? I don't want to
No, I
go
just
too
want to,
long.
you guys, I like to kind of keep it on time. I just want to thank everybody for coming to tonight's meeting, IGA. We like to bring the best information to you, the most current information to you. We need for you to get in the game, have fun with this whole process. It is a blast. It's amazing to see your ideas come to life. It is amazing to see them on TV. Go down to the store, see your friends using your products. It's magical, but you have to take good steps, educate yourself. Don't run too fast. Don't get too in love with your one idea, but play the game of innovation. Be creative, have a blast, and please connect with us all on LinkedIn. Let's build a huge community. I want to thank Ben for leading the charge of all of us to connect on LinkedIn. We're stronger together, right? So please connect on LinkedIn, and hopefully we'll see you next month for another IGA webinar.
Great to see everybody. If you don't mind putting your thanks down there for Stephen.
Oh, they're
showing
coming
up,
in. They're
doing
everywhere.
his thing. Yeah, but I got to ask for him though. So
You guys are the best.
no,
You're the
thank you all
best.
for showing up and putting up with me, giving me a chance to come on here and share what I've learned over the last few years. Stephen, thank you for the opportunity to come on too.
Ben, you're the best at this. And I'll tell you, I cannot thank you enough for bringing everybody together and keep fighting for all of us on LinkedIn to get to those companies. So thank you so much, Ben.
Absolutely. Everybody, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful night. So good to see all of your faces. Keep
Thank
doing
you.
it. Know how to, hey, Daniel, there you are. Daniel, what's the question? My goodness. Daniel,
Where
unmute
is he?
yourself.
There he is.
Ask Daniel.
Okay, you got it, Daniel. What's the question? I love it.
No, actually, my question was about following up on with companies that you're trying to reach out to, and I think you've answered that during the course of the webinar, and I'm really grateful for that, sir.
All right.
We were
Very good.
thorough, Stephen. First time for everything, right, buddy?
Very good.
You also
That
mentioned
one.
about being thoughtful as well. So
Yeah, being thoughtful, very,
yes,
very
I-
important. in all
thank
of
you,
this.
sir. Thank
Daniel,
you,
thank you for being
Benjamin,
patient and
Harrison.
waiting on us. All right, Daniel.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye,
Hope you
everybody.
have a wonderful
We'll
night.
see
Thank
you on
you.
LinkedIn. Bye.
Thank you.
See you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank
See
you,
you,
Benjamin.
everyone. See you, brother.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.